as well as Mr. W.C. Johnson, one of our top community activists in the city of New Orleans. Uh, Let me start by first offering my prayers and condolences to the George Floyd family and any other family who have lost their loved one to an unjust law enforcement action. I want to thank our great citizens of New Orleans for the peaceful protests thus far throughout these difficult and dark days that we're seeing right now. But our citizens, our city has been a beacon of light. Our city has truly been a great example of how to voice your concerns without violence, without any nonsense, we could say. So I would like to encourage our citizens, encourage our community to continue to exercise your constitutional rights. And we'll be right there with you as you do such. But because of your strong voice, because of your powerful words being exhibited and displayed without violence, many have taken notice. Some, unfortunately, are the wrong people. And we're here together in a unified effort to let everyone know, do not take the bait. When I say do not take the bait, we received information that there are individuals from other communities, other cities that are going to various cities to possibly create chaos, create nonsense, create a disruption that would destroy our city. So we're here together with our community, with our faith-based leaders, letting those outsiders know that would not be tolerated. We will not accept that, and we will address it if it is brought to our attention. Our citizens have been voicing their opinion, voicing their concerns without any violence, and we're encouraging them to continue to do so. We, the city of New Orleans, our New Orleans Police Department, our citizens, stand strong. We have lost too many lives already, unnecessarily. And we will not tolerate any more unnecessary loss of life, any unnecessary criminal activity whatsoever. We at the police department have a good relationship with our community. Is it the best? No. And we understand that there's still much more work to be done. And we are ready to roll up our sleeves and do just that. Whatever is needed to be done to push this city forward and build upon the relationship that we currently have with our citizens. So there are some more protests scheduled to be done throughout the remainder of this week going into the weekend. And we expect them to be peaceful. And we will be out there, as we have been throughout this past weekend, with our citizens, continuing to voice their concerns. But we will not and we shall not allow any outsiders or anyone come into our city and destroy our city. So I'm asking you, the city of New Orleans, our community, even our visitors who are here now, please do not take the bait. I will now ask Bishop Love to come and say a few words, please. Bishop Love.
The phrase "I can't breathe" is now taking over our country, reverberating all throughout our nation and even our land, because people are angry, frustrated, disappointed in the system. And we have a right to be angry. Anger is a God-given emotion. It's okay to be angry. But my grandmother taught me a lesson. She said, it's not what you do, it's how you do what you do. In New Orleans now, after for so many years being known and led in so many areas that we were not proud of, in our health, long time for our crime, but now New Orleans has the opportunity to be the leader that it has been for the last few days, and that is knowing how to protest, how to be people of peace, how to stand like King did, like Gandhi did, like Jesus did, and start a revolution, but to start the revolution with peace. Yes, we want to protest, but we have an opportunity now under the leadership of our mayor and our city officials our police chief and the NOPD and all of our citizens in New Orleans to stand up and be New Orleans, to be the leaders that we are and show people that this is the way to protest, and we do it in a very peaceful way. So we want to thank our city so far. I am personally so proud of our city leading the way over all of this time to be able to show people this is how you protest, this is how you get angry, and this is how you show people that we do want justice, but we want to do it the right way. Thank you, Mr. Chief.
Thank you, Bishop. And just to add on to that, we're creating an atmosphere of love throughout this city, an atmosphere of welcoming. First thing the mayor asked me on Saturday when I informed her that we would be having protests on this past Saturday, she wanted to know the time and the exact location because she wanted to place a podium and a microphone there so that our citizens can have that voice. And we thank her for her leadership as well as our council for their continued support, because this is a joint effort with our community and giving them that platform to express their concerns on a constant basis, on a continuous basis. Mr. Johnson, would you please say a few words, if you may?
Thank you, Chief. New Orleans Police Department is in a better posture today than they were 10 years ago. Much of the success of the NOPD enjoys today is because of the work of the New Orleans civilian community coming together with the authorities from the NOPD and brought about change and accountability to the NOPD, which they enjoy today. It is the work of people like Robert Goodman, Teresa Elwha, and Howard Nelson, three people who recently transitioned because of the virus, who worked their hearts out to bring about change within the NOPD's culture. It's people like Andy Washington, who is turning 100 years old this month, Malcolm Suber, and William Winchester, who continue to fight for the right to live in a society that respects and honors the course of human travel in an ungodly society that has made slaves of men and dishonored our women and children. New Orleans is appreciating a new relationship between the police and the people, because the people sacrificed to bring about the change of unholy police department. The consent decree that Community United for Change championed a decade ago is still lacking civilian oversight. As we continue to fight to improve the quality of life in New Orleans, we are looking forward to cultivating the seeds that will produce the civilian oversight necessary to keep New Orleans a thriving metropolis of police and civilian civility that will be a model for the entire country. New Orleans has a unique opportunity in the youthful leadership of Chief Shaun Ferguson. Our membership to the Chief is simple. Have your ranks monitor themselves within the ranks. This will allow the police to keep the ills of yesterday from affecting the culture we have created today. The people of New Orleans want to leave you with these messages. The people have won the right to be treated as humans. The police are not to exploit the civilian citadels. The police and the city officials must monitor the police. The police pushed for the consent decree to make life better for all. Most importantly, a civilian review board and civilian oversight gives the people of New Orleans a stake at the table. If we are to be a nation, a state, a city We need to have a stake in the quality of life we share together. Relationships in recent years are better than they have in the gone by past. As a city, let us work to continue the solidity and the camaraderie civilian involvement has welded together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And as you stated, we just had a conversation in my office as well. This is not just for show. You know, this is the beginning. We've already had the foundation where we've had this relationship, but now we're going to build on that. We're going to continue to have more conversation as to how we can grow together with our community, built on those principles of fairness and impartiality, which is the founding factors of constitutional policing. So with that being said, I will open up the floor to any questions. Ken or Juan? Travis?
You've seen other cities around the country, Chief, where it's very difficult to decipher between peaceful protesters and those that are creating havoc. How do you guys plan to do that, given the fact that everything has been peaceful here? How do you plan to identify those who may be coming in from outside the city to cause problems?
Well, it is not just about people that are coming from outside, but that is the information we have been receiving thus far. But anyone wishing to cause any issues of violence or criminal damage, destruction to our city, we're prepared to engage them. So we are monitoring the entire platform as we see before us throughout this week and throughout the upcoming weekend.
So the protests that we've had here in New Orleans have been peaceful and no problems. Can you give us any information that, just to clarify, that you're receiving credible information that there are outside agitators that want to cause violence here?
What I'm saying is that you have seen this happen across the city, where outside agitators have gone to various cities to create destruction, to create chaos. We have not seen that yet here in New Orleans, but what I'm saying to those, if they decide, if they attempt to come to New Orleans with that in mind, that we, along with our community that stand here with me, are prepared to discourage them and engage them. And as you've seen over the news over the last 24 hours, you've seen a lot of the protesters stand in front of many businesses now, and they're now acting as if they are the police and protecting their own community, their businesses, their banks, their police stations from being destroyed, because they are recognizing that there are some antagonists that are coming from outside of their community to destroy, with the clear intent on destroying their community and leaving them with absolutely nothing.
We've been lucky so far that we haven't had any looters. What are the consequences that if somebody does come and ruin businesses here that they could face if they're caught?
Well, I tell you, if they escalate that to that level of behavior, I have been contacted by our federal as well as state partners, and they're prepared to step in if necessary, and we will be working with them to hold those individuals accountable. We continue to encourage our community to please voice your concerns. We have that open door. We are giving you that open platform. Please express your concerns, but let's do it in a peaceful manner.
So obviously we're still in the middle of the pandemic, and there's emergency orders from the mayor and the governor about crowd sizes. Can you address whether there's concern about potential virus spread at these sorts of gatherings, and whether there's discussion of potentially enforcing coronavirus restrictions on crowd sizes?
Understood. So that's a good question. I've received that before. So, of course, there's always concern with the spread of coronavirus. But let's be honest. Let's look at ourselves. Look at what is happening across the country. Do we want to actually step to that level of engaging or enforcing something that could escalate to destruction within our city? We have to make a conscious decision, a decision that will get all of us through this collectively. And as you monitor, as you look at the crowd in itself, many of them are wearing masks. So they're conscious of that. So it's kind of a twofold, unprecedented thing that we're seeing. While we want to voice our concerns, we're also conscious that we may be exposing ourselves to something as well, meaning corona.
How much do past events, I mean, the city was at the forefront of the monument takedown, which led to widespread protest as well as Mardi Gras. How much do past events play a role in what you feel you can do to stop any kind of violence here?
I mean, we as a city have been, and I said this yesterday, we're a great city. We have great, great people in this city. You mentioned Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest. There are numerous large events that we as a department deal with, but we do not do this alone. Our community help us with this every step of the way. Our public safety partners help us with this every step of the way. And we have gained this experience over time, but through the relationships that we have with our community, we have been able to be at the forefront of how to do things in an appropriate manner. So again, I'll say thank you all. Thank you, Bishop Love. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for being here with us. This is a united front, and I'll tell our citizens again, please do not take the bait. We will stick through this together and make sure that our city come out on top safely. Thank you.